Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective, your podcast for all things marketing and real estate. And I'm excited today because this is episode number 19. It's growing. People are watching it. I'm very excited about it. We're going to keep doing this. If you are a real estate agent or a vendor that operates in the Fort Bend County area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. And I would not be doing my support team justice if I didn't thank them and mention them. Jennifer Smitis, the area vice president, Caitlin Kornick, Devin, the escrow officers here in Sugar Land, Wendy Santana in Richmond, and then Janice and Gracie and Melissa and Brenda and Francis and Michelle. So you guys, if you guys need title, Stewart Title is we're a great company. We do all kinds of things for you guys. So come close with us. In saying that, today's episode number 19, I have two exciting guests. I usually always have an agent on the podcast and then a vendor. Today's a little bit different because I'm going to have an agent and I'm going to have Stewart Title's own, the great Mike. He'll be up later. But right now, look who's sitting next to me. This is probably the happiest person on earth, okay? Her name is Lolena. Say hi to everybody, Lolena.
Hi, everybody.
And tell everybody what you do.
I am a residential realtor. I like to consider myself, Kevin, a resourceful, problem-solving residential realtor.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that. And tell everybody who's your broker.
EXP Realty.
EXP. That brokerage comes up a lot. How do you like being with EXP?
I love it. It's cloud-based, which follows the trend of technology, and it's in itself a platform. There are more than 24 countries that they operate in. So that kind of platform gives me a network that was unimaginable.
It's priceless. I know lots of people that are with EXP, and I know a lot of successful teams as well. I always like to start out, especially with agents, because if I remember correctly, you're a fairly new agent, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So I always like to start out by asking, why did you decide to be a real estate agent?
Well, Kevin, coming from a corporate background and over 35 years in corporate America, we had something very familiar to a lot of people around the world, a pandemic. And when the pandemic happened, I had to transition for more reasons than one. So I retired from the company I was working for at that time. And then I was faced with a new journey. And over 20 years ago, someone told me that I should be in real estate. And I'm a huge fan of real estate myself. I've never been a realtor, but I had definitely been a consumer in the real estate arena. And so I thought to venture off to see if, in fact, I could succeed in real estate.
So what do you think about the industry so far? I mean, you entered into the industry and probably not the best of market circumstances. I have not found yet anybody that can tell me why we're in the market that we're in. Everybody has their own opinions, but if you had entered into this industry a year and a half ago, you'd already be rich.
Yeah, and oh no. Well, I have to honestly say, Kevin, that I had no idea that I had been groomed for this. Although being unaware that I was groomed for this. It kind of goes back to the scenario of problem solving, managing, and communication, which my secular and personal life had prepared me for that. And so what do you know? Those are the effective, successful ingredients of real estate. Helping people was also a passion of mine. So it gives me an opportunity to help people as something that I've been doing for years.
And what is it you were doing real quickly, before you got a real estate license?
I was working in transportation, but I have a secular background in the legal arena, in the healthcare arena, and lastly, the transportation arena. So when I say I'm a people person, I'm a people person. Managing people and fixing their problems is something I've been doing my entire career. And real estate gives me an opportunity to continue to manage people's problems.
Exactly, to do just that.
Yes.
So, in your short career here with real estate, what kind of real estate agent are you?
I am a real estate agent. Like I said, loves helping
I mean,
people.
what kind of service do you provide?
But
Are you a buyer, seller, leaser?
I am a listing
agent.
And buying agent.
Awesome.
Because I found with my target market that there are always going to be people selling homes and buying homes, no matter what the market is.
They might be slow, but they're still going to be buying and selling homes.
Yes.
Exactly. What is it so far that you've seen in the real estate industry that makes you excited, and also makes you kind of sit back and go, whoa?
Yes. One of the things outstanding in my mind that I've seen that makes me super excited is diversity. I've traveled the world.
County.
Yes, especially in this county. I've traveled extensively and seeing diversity. In fact, I myself embarked more than 25 years ago on a relocation to Houston. So I've lived in multiple cities around the country. So it's very exciting for me because one of the markets that I target is a relocator. So potential Houstonians, because I'm experienced in that myself, and I know what it's like, and I know what problems it presents, and I'm very effective at finding resolution for those problems.
So if somebody approaches you and says, hey, Lolena, I am looking for a real estate agent, what is the first thing that you do as a real estate agent and a business owner to determine whether or not that they're a good fit for you?
First, why are they looking for a real estate agent? Are they looking for real estate as an investment? Are they looking for a home for themselves? I consider myself the upgrade, downgrade agent because families that are empty nesters, as I am, are oftentimes looking to sell to downgrade. And coming from a transportation industry, downgrade was a really bad word. So one of the other things that gets me really excited about real estate is because downgrade is really exciting. Because for empty nesters, downgrading is oftentimes what they need to meet their current needs.
They go from a 3,500 square foot house to a 1,500 square
So
foot
downgrade
house.
is a good word.
Yeah. And usually with the equity they get from the 3,500 square foot house, they can pay for the 1,500 square
You
foot
got
cash,
it.
and they don't have a mortgage. Exactly. So
This is why I love this guy.
there's a lot of reasons why it's downgrading.
Yes, it
good.
is.
So this podcast is real estate from a marketing perspective. So, and I know you haven't been an agent that long, but what are some of the things that you're doing now, and what are some of the things that you want to do to market your business and brand yourself?
Well, Kevin, I found in my first year I was working in my business, and working in your business, it keeps you really busy, but you can't build a business by merely working in your business. So what I want to do now, and what I have, thanks to you, and an excellent network.
I didn't pay her to say that.
Well, your marketing skills are on point. Thanks to you and having being fortunate enough to have an excellent network. What I'm learning to do is work on my business. And to work on my business, I've established effective and essential, I should say more than effective, essential ingredients to growing my business is marketing, particularly in the real estate industry. And one of the marketing features that I am working on and intend to expand on is social media.
Okay. So do you have Facebook and LinkedIn, TikTok, and all that stuff?
Yes, I do. And I've gotten a newfound respect for them because when you work for corporate America, you can't be on social media
Right, yeah.
when you work for Fortune 500 companies. But yes, so I have gotten a newfound love for, I'm learning a new love called Reels, called Live
Right.
videos.
So what is the things? Because you mentioned thanks to me, so we're working together, right?
Yes, yes, we
So
are.
we meet every
Thank
2 or
you.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are the things that in the time that you spent with me and been a real estate agent that you think of you would want to do in the future to market yourself?
Well, now that I understand that marketing is essential to real estate, so one of the things I want to do is be consistent. Consistent in my posting. As you asked me, I have Facebook now, I have LinkedIn, I have, and to be more deliberate and intentional, I have YouTube as well, and I even have a Google My Business.
So those are the 5 things that you must have in order to work with me. Why is it important to have a Google My Business page?
Well, so people can find you.
Yeah. So
That's
so
good.
basically, what is a Google My Business page? It's an electronic listing for your business.
Yes,
It's kind of like the old school yellow pages, but on the internet.
but on the internet.
And the really the coolest characteristic of a Google My Business page is it's free.
Yes. And not
free.
only can people find you, you can also have reviews there.
Well,
And
that's where the reviews come
that's
from
where
to
the
go.
reviews come
Yeah.
from, yes.
So if you're out there, you're a real estate agent, and you're running your own business, and you're not asking for reviews, and you're not getting reviews and putting them on Google, you're already 10% behind all your competition on the internet. And the reason that is because Google uses reviews that you get and the communicating and answering those reviews as 10% of why they rank you where they rank you on the internet. And then your YouTube channels, what's that for?
That's so the world can know who you are and what you have to offer.
What is it that you want to put on your YouTube channel?
I want to put on my YouTube channel, again, I want to be a plethora of resource of information. So no matter whether you're a buyer, a seller, you have questions, you have fears, but I also want to have fun. And the world can see you and also see themselves. That's what I am projecting that on YouTube is going to be for me, because as I mentioned, I was that person that relocated to a city that I didn't know anyone. I am a consumer that I've purchased homes, new construction, resale. So these are things that I want the world to know. Have no fear. You can do it if you have questions. The Lowdown with Low is where you can find real answers.
So on YouTube, you are the expert.
Yes.
Okay, you project yourself as the
Yes.
expert. So, and then social media, Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram are places where you can express yourself and post this
Yes.
content for. So
Exactly.
that's why you must have these, at least these 5. If you also want to do TikTok and whatever else, you do it. But these are the 5 that most people are looking for.
Yes.
So if I was to ask you, or someone was to ask you, and I know you haven't been an agent for that long, but with your ball of energy and your excitement, if someone was to ask you, what is the one thing that anybody should know about Lolena as a professional real estate agent, what would you tell them?
The one thing that I would want people to know about me is to not be afraid. I'm a problem solver. So if you are concerned about interest rates, if you are concerned about your credit rating, if you are concerned about just the process of what do I do to secure what I consider to be one of the most vital things, and that's property. I am your go-to person because I'm learning the industry. I have focused on various market areas, whether you want to sell or buy there, the benefits people are concerned about. What are the schools like? You know, what's in the neighborhood? What are the hospitals nearby? These are questions that as a realtor, even when it comes to just moving, you know, what moving expenses are involved. I think in my first year, one of the things that was most shocking to me that people know very little about are what's a mud district. I know that because I'm a homeowner, but a lot of people don't know that if you've never had one.
And
What are HOA fees?
Yeah, and the mud disclosure statements have just recently changed.
Yes, yes. And those are things that I want people to know. You can really get the lowdown with Lolena.
Awesome. So why don't you tell everybody how to get a hold of you?
Yes, thank you very much, Kevin. Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Lolena Jordan, the realtor. You can also reach me. My business number is 832-931-1948. And thanks to you, Kevin, I also have a YouTube, Lolena Jordan, the realtor. So if you want to get the lowdown with Lolena and making a difference one home at a time,
I like that. Make
look
a
me
difference one home at a time. Is that your slogan?
that's my slogan, Kevin.
Nice. And who told you to do that?
Kevin.
Well, do you have email?
I do. Lolena dot, and that's Lolena dot Jordan at exprealty.com.
Give them the phone number one more time.
832-931-1948.
Folks, I will tell you this. If you're a calm introvert that doesn't like a lot of excitement, don't call this girl because she's a ball of excitement just waiting to explode. So thank you very much for Lolena for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Kevin, and thank you for doing what you do.
No problem. And like I said, you guys, if you need a good, energetic real estate agent, contact Lolena. She'll be happy to help you out. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to have our next guest up here is Mike, the IT guy from Stewart Title. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. We're back. Kevin Davidson, your host for Kevin's Corner, real estate from a marketing perspective, all things real estate and marketing on this podcast. And as you can see, I have switched guests. This is Mike Hardy. He is, among other things, the IT expert for Stewart Title. Say hi, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Awesome. Tell them exactly what you do.
Anything that beeps, buzzes, or makes noise, we address and we fix here at Stewart Title. I'm with the EUC, which is End User Computing section division of Stewart Title, their
Awesome.
IT department.
So basically, when my computer stops working, when the phone stops working,
Yep.
call you.
Yep.
And so how long have you been doing this?
For Stewart Title, I'm going on 3 years, but in everything IT, maybe 30 years.
30 years, really?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So is that what you got your degree in, your education
Yes.
in?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science.
There you go. How long have you been working for Stewart Title?
Going on 3 years now.
3 years. So what'd you do?
I started off as a contractor, and they brought me on full time.
Wow. I'm going to have to talk to somebody about that.
I know. Can you believe that? Every time I see my paycheck, I'd say the same thing. It's like, wow, you guys really hired me. Okay.
Okay, I got to edit that out so Stewart Title didn't see that.
So, Stewart Title's great.
I know, yeah. We're actually turning 130 years in October.
You don't look a day over 15.
I'm telling you, man, that's great. You coming to the party?
When's the party?
October 19th.
I'll be there.
Awesome. I knew you would be. So what were you doing before you started working for Stewart Title?
I was actually a Microsoft rat for a little while.
Oh, my God. You were one of those guys?
I was one of those guys. We were based in Gainesville, Virginia, which is Northern Virginia. I'm from the East Coast, excuse me.
I won't put that, against you.
We'll talk about that after the camera's off. So yeah, I did that for 8 years.
Wow.
And prior to that, I was an IBMer. So yeah.
You worked at all the big ones.
Yeah. In New York, we have a cable company called Optimum, and I did that for like 3 years, and most of the time it's contract work. I mean, Microsoft I was full time, IBM I was full time, but everything else was contract work, and I actually love doing contract work because you get to see different environments, you get to meet different people. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
What are some of the issues or problems that you're called to address and fix, whether it be here at Stewart Title or wherever else you've been?
For the majority of it, it is email. We use a certain we use a certain program for the agents. Excuse me, not the agents. The escrow officers. Excuse me. And sometimes that program not so much fails, but it doesn't respond the way it's supposed to, and that's when we're called to.
And
But-
you're
But
go
go ahead,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you go.
No, I said, and my initial comment. I don't know if you heard it, but anything that beeps, buzzes, or makes noise, they call us.
Yeah.
So
What's your plan for the future for working here at Stewart Title? Are you going to be working on computers and phones and stuff?
I really enjoy what I do because of the fact that I get to meet people like yourself. We didn't know each other, but we instantly clicked when we met each other, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what the future holds as far as like Stewart, but I'm open and game for anything that need done. I've experienced a lot. I've seen a lot as far as like IT. I've touched a lot of different environments. So, wherever I'm needed, that's where I'll go.
And you're the greater Houston area? Where's your basic territory?
I support the Fort Bend area, but we have 2 offices in Lake Jackson, and I support those offices as well. So
So you're only Fort Bend and then Lake Jackson?
that's it.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
So, okay. So there's another guy like you in other parts of the city?
There are 2 other gentlemen, and they support. One supports, and you got to forgive me because I'm in New York. I'm still getting used to the surroundings. One
How
supports.
long have you been in Houston?
Stop. Everybody, what's funny? Everybody asks me the same thing. Well, Mike, how long you been out here? And I tell them, they go, cut it out. Stop saying that.
Get out the house more.
Listen, work, school, church, and family life. That's it.
Well,
Every now and then I get to sneak away to get fried chicken by myself.
yeah, there you go.
So,
Every once in a while.
but no, there are other gentlemen that we have a team, and there are 2 other gentlemen, and they handle the other sections of Houston as well. So, but there are rare occasions that we get called outside of our scope, outside of our section, our sector where we support. So, yeah.
So if something goes wrong or happens at the branch level, do they just call you? Or
Now, when you say branch, you mean
Sugarland, Richmond, whatever, at an office level?
I have an office, and my office is actually here in Sugarland. But for the most part, I travel. So you guys have my cell phone number, and most times than not, I work off of text messaging. Hey, Mike, this is not working. This happened, And for small things or things that can be remediated immediately, they'll call customer care. And customer care will help them to the best of their knowledge. And what they can't resolve, then they pass it over to us.
Really?
Yeah.
And where's customer care?
You have them, they're based here at Post Oak, in Post Oak area. And then they have, and then after hours, I believe after hours, they are, and I may get this wrong, so you guys excuse me if I get this wrong, but I believe they're in Pakistan.
So when I talk to customer care during business hours, they're actually right down the street?
Right down the street.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. So there's some other things that Mike Hardy here does and is good at. So you were one of the first people when I told you I wanted to do this podcast that kind of gave me some encouragement and some pointers and stuff. And so you do your own podcast, correct?
I do.
Why don't you tell everybody about that?
I have actually 2 of them. I have one called The Armor 365, and that is mainly based on spiritual beliefs, different religions and different atmospheres of that nature. And then there's my personal. My personal is MJHR, and that, like I said, that's my personal. So that is a day in the life of Mike Hardy, as exciting as it could be. Trust me, it's exciting. But it's mainly family life. Like, we just recently went to the Houston Horror Fest, and I'm not into horror movies or anything like that, but my wife is, so I went with her. And you know what? Had a really good time. Had a really good time. And I just couldn't get over how many people are into horror movies?
Oh yeah, everybody's different. I mean, people are into whatever they want. I mean, you guys were talking about it earlier how I'm into heavy metal.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
everybody's different.
I was listening to Metallica on the way up here.
Well,
so
there you go. There's nothing wrong with
no,
that.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think when you have diversity as far as that goes, it just makes you well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she never wanted us to sit in a box. If somebody wants to teach you something, take time to learn it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Lolena was singing my praises on the first section of the podcast, but and I appreciate it, but there are other people that I can still learn things from.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can be good at something, but you can still learn something new, and that will make you better.
Right. There are times where you and I talk, and if you notice, I'll just shut up. I won't even say anything. It's because you're teaching me, and I think that's awesome. That's why I love doing what I do. I've been doing it for so long, and people may even ask me, well, how come you haven't moved up the ranks? Well, I have. I've been director. I've been management. I've been supervision. I've done all of that. And it's nothing like, as I say, boots to the ground, meaning I want to meet you and I want to talk to you face to face and find out what's going on with you. Mm-hmm. I want to see your head pop when your email isn't working, things like that, which I mean, because then
wait a minute.
but seriously, it gives me an opportunity to help you out. Mm-hmm. It gives me an opportunity. People. Right. It gives me an opportunity
it's the same thing with me. I mean, people ask me all the time, you work for Stewart Title, what do you do? And when I tell them what I do, they look at me like, are you sure? Did you hear my question? Because when they ask me, I tell them I help agents grow their business. And they're like, but I thought Stewart Title was a title insurance company. Well, they are. Mm-hmm. But what I do there is I help agents grow their business. I teach them, try to get them to understand the importance of marketing and how to do it to grow their business. And then in return, guess what? They help me grow mine.
And you know what's funny? I'm actually one of those people who, when I originally found out what you guys do, and as well, you guys, but more so you.
I'm the only one in Stewart Title that does this.
Thinking of the things that you do, and I'm going, why are we doing that? Mm-hmm. We're in title. But then it brought me back to each one teach one. If I do something and help you get to where you need to be, you won't forget me.
Right.
So, and I think that's pretty cool.
You hope.
So.
I mean, there's, I could be a typical title rep, and I can call you up one day and say, hey, Mike, I noticed you've been closing at some of my competitors lately and not coming over here. Let's go have dinner and talk about it. We go have dinner and talk about it. And then the next day when you get up, there's a message from me or I call you and, hey, we just had dinner last night. When's my contract going to come through? And I just don't like to do that. That's not.
Sure.
I learned a long time ago that you have to provide value to anybody in order to expect anything in return. And when I was in property management, I had two target markets. I had agents and investors, and agents hated property management companies because the property management company would steal their client. And so I fixed that bridge by changing the contract. And then I said, okay, so now that I've changed this, how do I get the word out? How do I get their attention? And I was at a class and I was driving back home back to the office with my boss. And he goes, you can do that. And I said, do what? And he goes, you could teach. I'm like, dude, I have a marketing degree. I'm not a teacher. He said, no, take your marketing knowledge and teach agents how to grow their business because the brokers don't do it. Okay. And if you do it right and they are successful from what you're teaching them, they're going to reciprocate. The good ones are. The smart ones are going to reciprocate, and they're going to use this for property management.
Well, sure. I mean, it's like I said, it's one hand that helps to wash the other. Mm-hmm. Same thing here. I do videography. So I met somebody the other day they're getting married, and they're looking to find a photographer and a videographer, but they can't meet the prices that are being. I said, listen, I'm developing a reel, meaning of all my photos and everything. I said, I'll help you out. I'll do your wedding for free. The woman almost passed out. She couldn't believe me. She goes, "What do you mean free?" Meaning, as in, I'm not going to charge you.
No cost.
I said, all I need from you is once the video is done and you approve it, and the wedding is finished, that I get to use this video in my reel. And I explained to her exactly what it is. And she goes, absolutely. Let me talk to my husband. Absolutely. The husband was on board. He still calls me.
Really?
So, I'm a firm believer of that. A lot of things I do, man, I'm not going to charge you for.
Well, I mean, you when I started talking about this whole project of being a podcaster, you were offering to help me with the video and with the intros
Sure.
and stuff. And every time I asked, you said, "Oh, no money. Just let's just do it. We'll help each other out." And so
because you just never know.
I mean, one of these days you might need me.
Exactly. You just never know. So,
But so what as far as the IT world goes, what do you see for the future? I mean, electronics are obviously going to get smarter and more capable. Where do you see yourself fitting in with that? Are you having to constantly re-educate yourself to stay up with the industry?
oh, absolutely. Technology changes. They used to say every week it changes. No, man, like every 15 minutes it changes now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have kids who literally know what I'm doing and understand what I'm doing at a high school level. And it took me to graduate and get my bachelor's degree to do this.
Yeah.
So with that being said, with all of that encompasses greater risk of day-to-day normal operations as far as security goes. That's why you have to be very, very vigilant on how you spend your money, who you spend your money with, credit cards, banking accounts. You'd be very surprised how many people give away their information just like that.
Yeah, no, not me.
No, I mean, and honestly speaking, so for you guys who are in the corporate world, stop leaving your password under your keyboard.
Awesome. Well, Mike, I really want to thank you for being on the podcast. A lot of great information. If anybody has any questions about IT or anything like that, can they give you a call?
Sure. You can reach me at 281-954-6515. 281-954-6515.
Awesome. And just so you guys know, whenever I have a problem, I call him. He fixes it or tells me to stop doing what I'm doing. One of the two. So this is episode number 19 of Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. Again, if you're a real estate agent or you're a vendor in the area, Fort Bend County, and you'd like to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527. Love to have you on the podcast. You can email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. And I want to thank again my support, Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Kornick, Devin Devin, Wendy Santana, and the support staff. And last but not least, I would also like to thank my good friend Robert Weber from Silverback Self-Defense for bringing me these beautiful coasters that have my logo engraved in them. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. So until next week, you guys have a great weekend. Podcast will be available early next week. Thanks to Lolena and Mike. Take it easy.